Well, this is under the nav station. It's the battery switch for the generator, and those red two wires go to a toggle switch that says leave up on. So I thought I'd just check the fuse here, and it's blown, so let's replace it and see if that makes a difference. Well, I have another 10 amp fuse, so we'll pop it in. Well, fingers crossed, it seems to come off the same battery. Display's looking brighter. It was tend to flicker a bit over the weekend. Okay, so still sounding like a starter motor to me. Well, that 10 amp fuse blew. I've been naughty, replaced it with a 20. Well, that didn't blow, and the engine still didn't start, and it made a noise like a poorly or unengaged starter motor going. I'll turn off the battery and see if I can get the starter motor out. So now it's on the far side of the engine. I've taken the airbox off. Gives us a bit more access. It's not going to be easy to get it off because it's got Allen head screw, machine screws. I can probably get the one on the outside just down here, but I can't get the one on the inside. Need a socket set with a Allen key. Well, I saw a spark, so I might have to actually take the battery terminals off. Well, that's the positive cables off. Should do the trick. Oh, one out. I'm not sure I'm going to get the other one. Effort to get the top inner one out, so it was a case of using the Allen key this way and then putting a big shifter on this bit, and I just managed to break it free. And there she is. I've sprayed it with degreaser, cleaned it, and we'll see whether it's the problem. Well, it's been a beautiful afternoon apparently. I've been at work and I had an evening meeting, so I'm getting home quite late. Tuesday evening. Daylight saving makes a difference. So let's pop this starter motor back in. I bought some more tools from home, so we'll hopefully have a much easier time. Well, that should be easier than Allen key. Right, well, that was an awful lot easier than taking it out, both because I know what I'm doing, secondly because I'm not trying to do it with just an Allen key. So, got all the terminals back on, everything's tightened up. Okay, right, so the battery measures 12.99 volts, but no guarantee that it can actually do enough current for cranking. So this red wire to negative, let's see if I've got enough hands. It's not easy down here. It's 13.75. So I think it's pretty obvious that this is a charging circuit from the AGM. And I flicked the switch by the battery isolator and we've lost voltage. So obviously that switch is for charging circuit. The back of the switch, there's the battery switch, there's the fuse that have blown. So I think that the fact that was working overtime blew the fuse. The auto and marine electricians suggest bringing the battery in on their load tester. Seems like an excellent idea to me. I'm going to try my own load test. I've got 12.88. I've turned the generator on, it's doing its countdown, so look, we're down to 7 volts. It hasn't fired, so I think it's pretty obvious that this battery has had it. There we go, if you can see it says oil, so that means no oil pressure, didn't start. So voltage is recovering, but it has no capacity. Tape them together, put a tape over the end of the positives. Now we're going to lift the battery out. Of course, there's not much room in here. Oh, battery box, of course, is secured to its base. And this was not easy, but managed it. Well, as well as that cat being back with its mast up now, we have another cat tied up at the port decal work berth down there. It's fairly much the calm before the gale. At the moment we've got a bit of a nor'east, I suppose. Not much out there. Well, the old battery, as expected, did not pass a load test. So nice new one. Need to pop it back into its spot under the nav station. Right, well, the acid test, I suppose. Start. And I hear the blower. Yay! Oh well, took a long time to diagnose it correctly, but we got there. I'll actually stop it and put the sound shell back around it and then let it run for a while. Oh, weather's slowly turning north-east, or north comes from behind us roughly. So I'll pop the sound shell back on, pop the spinnaker away so it doesn't get wet. Oh, it's starting to get fairly windy out there. Okay, voltage, current, I'll switch it over to Gen and put the water heaters on, and Yeah, so it's not very old, as we know. So let's let it run for a little bit. Oh, a wee while later, all running fine. And we're back onto shore power. Well, the last battery had a date of 2019, so just to make it easier this time, I've put a date on now. I'll put the top back on, this battery strap on. Also put a label on the switch. So battery switch is the big one, little one seems to be the trickle charger, which if we're away on a cruise and using it regularly doesn't need to be on. Oh, time for coffee. Well, generator sorted. Many false leads. I don't claim to be a marine electrician or diesel engineer, but believe I can normally get things sorted eventually. So the thing that misled me was that the generator start battery still had 12.99 volts on it, but under load, of course, it dropped down to 6 or so telling us it was dead. Starter motor was making terrible noises, which led us down the starter motor track, so I now know how to remove it and what tools make it easy. Various other electrical problems were thought of and checked and found to be not the case. So not that expensive to fix, just a new battery compared to everything else that it could have been. But I now know even more about the systems on WAKAWAKA. The trickle charge to the generator battery was certainly not mentioned in any documentation and was obviously put in aftermarket. It seems very likely the gen set was put in once she got to New Zealand in 2019, which I'm sure is when she was commissioned, not in 2018 when she left the production line at the Leopard factory in Cape Town. But yeah, we got there, and normal service can resume. And normal service, of course, includes yet another gale or storm, which is currently developing here with the wind increasing and skiffs of rain becoming more common.